Imagine being alone in a small boat, in the middle of the sea. Late at night, the wind is strong. The waves are crashing against the boat. Suddenly, you see someone walking toward you. On the water. Is it a ghost? Or is it a miracle? Let me tell you the incredible story of Jesus walking on water. Welcome to Bible Stories and Tales, where we share inspiring stories from the Bible to grow your faith. Today's story reminds us that even when life feels frightening and uncertain, faith can help us overcome fear. Let's begin. One evening, after Jesus had finished teaching a large crowd of people, he told his disciples to get into a boat and go ahead of him across the Sea of Galilee. Jesus stayed behind to pray alone on a nearby mountain. As night fell, the disciples began sailing across the lake. At first, everything seemed normal. The disciples were experienced fishermen, and they had crossed this lake many times before. But soon the wind began to grow stronger. The waves started rising higher and higher. The boat rocked back and forth as the storm grew worse. The disciples struggled to keep the boat moving forward. Hours passed, and they were still battling the strong wind. Dark clouds covered the sky, and the sea became more dangerous. Then something unexpected happened. In the early hours of the morning, while the storm was still raging, the disciples looked across the water. Through the darkness and the crashing waves, they saw something moving toward them. First, they could not believe their eyes. Someone was walking on the water. The disciples were terrified. "It's a ghost!" they cried. Fear filled their hearts. They had never seen anything like this before. The waves were still crashing around them, and the wind was still blowing hard. But the figure continued walking calmly across the water. Then a voice spoke to them through the storm. "Take courage. It is I. Do not be afraid." It was Jesus. When the disciples realized it was Jesus, their fear slowly turned into amazement. One of the disciples, Peter, spoke up. "Lord, if it is really you, tell me to come to you on the water." Jesus answered with just one word. "Come." Peter carefully stepped out of the boat. For a moment, something incredible happened. Peter began walking on the water toward Jesus. The waves moved beneath his feet, but he did not sink. But then Peter looked around at the strong wind and the powerful waves. Fear entered his heart. Suddenly, he began to sink into the water. "Lord, save me!" Peter cried. Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and caught Peter. "You of little faith," Jesus said gently. "Why did you doubt?" Then Jesus and Peter climbed back into the boat. At that very moment, the wind stopped. The storm became calm. The disciples were amazed. They looked at Jesus with wonder and said, "Truly, you are the Son of God." They realized they had just witnessed a miracle that showed Jesus had power even over the sea. This story teaches us an important lesson about faith. Sometimes life feels like a storm. We may feel afraid, uncertain, or overwhelmed. But just like Peter, when we keep our eyes on Jesus, we can overcome fear. And even when our faith becomes weak, Jesus is always ready to reach out and help us. No matter how strong the storm may be, God is always near. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video and subscribe to Bible Stories and Tales for more inspiring Bible stories. Share this video with your friends and family. And remember, when life storms come, keep your faith strong. God bless you.